Reaction and recap of UFC 319, Dricus Du Plessis vs. Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev has just defeated Dricus Du Plessis, although the result may not have matched some people's predictions. He earned the victory by dominant decision, controlling all 5 rounds from the opening bell to the very end. Throughout most of the fight, Chimaev maintained top position, applying relentless pressure on Du Plessis. The key points that will be discussed in this video are: 1. Khamzat Chimaev defeated Dricus Du Plessis by unanimous decision, displaying complete dominance over 5 rounds. 2. Doubts about Chimaev's cardio were disproven. He remained fresh until the end and even looked sharper than Du Plessis. 3. Du Plessis' main weakness, inability to stop takedowns and failure to adjust his strategy. 4. Career implications. Chimaev could face Imavov or Baralho next, or move up to light heavyweight against Ankalaev or Pereira. Du Plessis is most likely to face Michael Venom Page following this loss. 5. Additional note, Chimaev demonstrated a combination of skill, strength, and elite conditioning, shutting down nearly all negative narratives about him. 6. Co-main event results. Lerone Murphy defeated Aaron Pico with spectacular striking. Carlos Perates knocked out Jeff Neal with a spinning elbow. MVP dominated Jared Cannonier with his trademark striking style.
Perfect.
Within the first 20 seconds of round 1, Chimaev scored a takedown and controlled Du Plessis in the center of the octagon. Du Plessis spent most of the round on his back. The same story repeated in rounds 2 through 4. Only late in the 5th round did Du Plessis gain some momentum. Referee Mark Goddard briefly stood them up, and Du Plessis landed a big shot that dropped Chimaev, even managing to take top position. However, the moment had little impact as it occurred in the final 30 seconds. Overall, Chimaev remained dominant throughout. In my earlier prediction, I expected Chimaev to win by submission in the 1st or 2nd round. Many believed that if he failed to finish early, Du Plessis' superior cardio would take over, but the opposite happened. Chimaev was able to take Du Plessis down in every round with little resistance, while Du Plessis lacked the skill to consistently defend takedowns. Chimaev silenced doubts about his endurance. He looked fresh across 5 rounds, even fresher than Du Plessis. This came down to technical mastery, allowing him to control the fight without exerting unnecessary energy. While Du Plessis survived until the final bell, he was consistently stuck in disadvantageous positions. This fight also proved that Chimaev isn't just technically superior, but physically stronger. Many believe Du Plessis was tougher and more powerful than names like Robert Whittaker, Kamaru Usman, or Gilbert Burns. But in reality, Chimaev looked stronger, dragging Du Plessis around the octagon at will. The biggest flaw for Du Plessis was his inability to stop takedowns, and he made no meaningful strategic adjustments. As Daniel Cormier pointed out in commentary, Du Plessis repeatedly failed to pull his legs back when Chimaev shot for takedowns, a glaring technical issue against a wrestler of Chimaev's caliber. What's next for Khamzat Chimaev? He has now defeated the reigning middleweight champion with 2 successful defenses. The logical next matchup would be against either Nasruddin Imavov or Kyle Baralho, both legitimate contenders. Personally, I believe Imavov poses a tougher challenge than Du Plessis and would be harder to predict. However, Chimaev's dominance opens the door to a move up to light heavyweight. Facing the winner of Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira could be one of the UFC's biggest fights next year. A matchup with Ankalaev would be extremely tough, but Chimaev's wrestling could be the difference. Meanwhile, a clash with Pereira would be a massive super fight. Though criticized for fighting infrequently, Chimaev has expressed his desire to compete more often. With his popularity now surpassing Du Plessis, he has plenty of exciting options in both middleweight and light heavyweight divisions. As for Du Plessis, this decisive loss ends his immediate hopes of reclaiming the title. A rematch with Chimaev won't happen anytime soon. A realistic option is a fight against Michael Venom Page, who recently defeated Jared Cannonier and is expected to climb into the top 10. Their matchup would be intriguing due to their unorthodox styles, even if it's not for title contention. In conclusion, while some may call the fight anticlimactic, Chimaev delivered a phenomenal performance, disproving nearly all doubts. He lasted the full 5 rounds, showcased elite conditioning, and dominated with technique and strength. This was a convincing showing from a new champion. Many wondered what would happen if Chimaev didn't win by clear decision, but ultimately his grappling dominance told the entire story. Though some fans considered the fight dull in the later rounds, I found the 5th round entertaining enough. From the first round, it was an intense watch. Still, this fight wasn't just about entertainment. Du Plessis was clearly overwhelmed by Chimaev's grappling control.
Fight breakdown. Round 1. Chimaev secured a takedown in less than 30 seconds. Du Plessis threatened with a guillotine choke twice, but eventually ended up on the bottom in side control. He showed patience by enduring Chimaev's heavy ground and pound, and even managed to reverse the position toward the end of the round. Round 2. Du Plessis tried to defend by lowering his stance, but Chimaev once again took his back and dominated with the signature style of an elite grappler. Full control with constant pressure was the key for Chimaev in this round. Round 3. Chimaev's dominance grew even stronger. He dropped Du Plessis with a double-leg takedown, easily past the guard, and pressured from side control while landing elbows and punches. This was clearly a very tough round for Du Plessis. Round 4, Du Plessis fought back with some clean strikes, but Chimaev once again took him down and controlled the position. Referee Mark Goddard briefly stood them up, but Chimaev immediately scored another takedown and closed the round with positional dominance.
Round 5. Du Plessis performed better, defending several takedowns and landing a solid jab right-hand combination. He even reversed position after being taken down. However, Chimaev managed to neutralize the offense, maintain control, and close the fight with a unanimous decision. Fight evaluation. Overall, Chimaev won this fight through complete grappling dominance. He didn't just rely on power, but also showcased patience, timing, and technique. While Du Plessis showed toughness and fighting spirit, it wasn't enough to turn the tide. This was a very impressive victory, marking Chimaev's rise as the new UFC middleweight contender. Additional notes. Number 1. Conditioning and cardio. Chimaev proved to be in better shape than Du Plessis. His improved conditioning and training were evident in his consistent performance across all 5 rounds. Number 2. Du Plessis' strategy. The repeated guillotine attempts cost him valuable time on the bottom. A more versatile submission specialist might pose greater threats to Chimaev in the future. Chimaev looked far better than most people expected. Many doubted he could maintain intensity for 5 full rounds, but he proved otherwise. Chimaev has now established himself as one of the most dangerous competitors in the division. Still, Du Plessis deserves credit for his resilience. He remains a world-class fighter capable of bouncing back.